Being an artist, you never clock out. Every moment of your existence is essential and important.
Of course there's been obstacles. I mean, you don't get to the point where I'm at without a few obstacles.
Delgado is inclusive, not exclusive.
I want you to know, first of all, I reject all notions of art stardom. My art is purely from my own being. Any type of spin you want to put on it, any way you want to try to commodify it, if it sells better than others, that's not important to me. What's important to me is how I come through, and of course how other people receive me. Of course there's been obstacles. I mean, you don't get to the point where I'm at without a few obstacles. But they've always been things that I could overcome. There's never been anything given to me or placed in front of me that I don't believe I was unable to conquer. People said, you know, you need to get a 9-to-5 job, you need to get health care, you need to get benefits. And, you know, while those things would be comforting, I'm afraid that they would be too comforting, and I would have nothing to struggle against, nothing to say at that point. So in a way, I guess I'm grateful for these obstacles. I'm also grateful that I never chose to go for the 9-to-5 route. You get locked into one of these 9-to-5s, and you wake up every morning at the same time, you make the same amount of coffee, take the same amount of time to get to work, you take the same freeways, the same streets, and you get locked into this routine. And for some people, you know, the perfect job for them is sitting around and sipping their coffee, and the less they have to do each day, the better. They're doomed to their mediocrity.
You know, they come to work, they punch in, and they punch out, and then they're done. My role as cultural producer is much more serious than that. It's not something I ever stop doing. You never get to stop being an artist. You never clock out.
People say I have a strong work ethic, but it's not that. This is me. This is my passion. I have no choice but to continue to produce these cultural objects. To be an artist, you have to be committed. It's not playtime. We're not sitting around with finger paints, you know, scattering paint here and there with no kind of intent. Everything here is intentional, everything here is committed, and everything here is exceptional. The greatest scam of the 20th century, Pablo Picasso, once said, "Good artists borrow, and great artists steal." Well, a few people question this thought, but I've thought about it a lot because it's a subject I'm very passionate about. A lot of these folks out there in the art scene today are simply ripping off ideas or following the dictates of their master professors they studied with at some pretentious high art academy back east. The difference between borrowing something and stealing something is that when one steals something, they take full possession and ownership of it. It becomes theirs. It's a part of them. Simply taking something and doing it over and over and over again, that's just simple petty theft. That's like the cat burglar who, you know, takes a few watches and pawns them. I'm more interested in taking down Fort Knox. We're coming out with sacks and sacks of money. It's not a mere rip-off or copycat scam like so many of these contemporary artists have. And that's the difference.
Let me preface this by saying that there are a handful, a select group of artists who are making a difference and are participating in the culture at large, but the ones that gain the recognition, the ones who are showing in the established galleries, all just a bunch of phonies. They wouldn't know what to do with true art. if it stood right there in front of them. Whereas myself, my followers, we're confronted by this reality daily. No longer are the details around you mundane. They become alive. All these artists out there who are making it, this group of phonies, they're blinded. They're blinded as they're chauffeured to the gallery, as their supplies are paid for, as their materials are compensated by wealthy benefactors. They've lost that hunger. They've lost the need to struggle to produce something relevant. It's too easy for them to fall back on rote repetition, what they know will be successful. And if there are any of these phony artists out there that I speak of who would like to come across, who would like to join our leagues of passion, of true expression, of a relevance in a contemporary culture, we welcome them with open arms. Delgado is inclusive, not exclusive. Most people are terrified of life and full of excuses, especially artists. They're the worst. Art isn't some religion that you follow. It's not something you can get away with just doing on Sundays. No. Art is like work. You toil at it. You're tormented for sometimes days on end. In some blind belief in art celebrity, art stardom, it's a lot like believing in heaven. Chances are, neither belief will pan out.